Hey, it's Aaron Kushler and welcome to another video from EBSC. In today's video, I'm going to give you a behind the scenes look and a recap of our most recent strongman competition. So check it out. So it's a little past 6 a.m. in the morning of the competition. I just got up and just weighed myself before I actually go for the official weigh-in, and I was 89.9, so just under what I need to be. So I'm on the way now to pick up one of my clients, and then we're going to head in for the weigh-in. Just weighed in, officially 89.15. I'm here with my client Ryan.
What's up?
What did you weigh in at, Ryan?
I can't remember actually. Doesn't matter, I'm starving.
But we both made weight, so all good. Here we are at Iron Revolution where the competition was held. Really cool gym, a lot of great equipment and really good people there and a good vibe. So event one was the Yoke Carry. So this is Sarah with the Yoke Carry. She had 180 kilos on the yoke and it was about her fourth time using a yoke. So as you can see, it's a challenging weight for her, but she did really well. She only dropped it once throughout the entire course, but finished pretty solidly. So next up was Ryan on the yoke. This was 260 for him, and he'd hit it once before in training, but as you can see, he absolutely smashed the event. He actually set the fastest time for the under 105 category. And this was my event with 280 on the yoke. This actually felt a lot better than in training, just because of the yoke that we were using. It's much better built and way more balanced.
Thanks. Thank you.
Hello. How did that feel?
That was good.
Second event was the Viking Press. Now this was 50 kilos for Sarah. She'd hit it once before in training, but using a different Viking Press, so this was all new for her. Here's Ryan doing his. He had 80 kilos. He'd hit 80 kilos and 85 kilos on a push press in training comfortably, so it was just getting used to the implement for him. It wasn't too much of a struggle. And here I am with 85. I actually went down 5 kilos. I was having a bit of issues with my right shoulder. In some of the warm-ups it was feeling not great, but I wasn't feeling any pain doing this event, which it went pretty well, so I surprised myself. But again, I went down just wanting to try and avoid any injuries happening. The next event was the deadlift, and for Sarah this is a strong point of hers. So she opened at 170, which was 10 kilos heavier than any of the other females finished on. And you got 3 attempts with this, which meant that her final lift, jumping up in 10 kilo increments, was 190 kilos. And as you can tell, this was a max effort for her, so she made sure she mentally prepared as much as she could before lifting it. And she just lifts it up, absolutely maxing out, and made the lift. So she won the deadlift event. Here's Ryan with his opening lift of 200. He was having a little bit of issues with his straps. He hadn't really practiced enough using them, and therefore on the day wasn't too comfortable actually using it, which caused him to miss this lift here, which was 220. So he just couldn't get the strap to work and eventually called it there. This was my opening lift at 200, so the same as what Ryan opened with. And as you can tell, I picked that up pretty easy. Instantly felt I could have gone heavier, so that's a bit of a mistake on my part. I should have opened a bit higher, but at the same time too, I'd never lifted using this frame before. In training, it was using farmer's handles, and with 100 kilos in each hand, it's very different to lifting 200 kilos on this frame. And this was my final lift of 240, which was actually a PB for me, so I was pretty happy with that. The next event was a good one. When this was announced, this was a mystery event to start with. It was a suitcase carry and a backwards sled drag. So when this was announced, I was over the moon because we do a lot of this in our training. So we were pretty prepared for this event going in. We were pretty confident in the weights that we were going to use and how to actually do the event. So here's Sarah with her backward sled drag. It was only a distance of 10 meters up, 10 meters back, as quickly as you could. And here we have Ryan with his event. He had 60 kilos in one hand for the suitcase carry. I think there was about 130 kilos on his sled. And as you can see, he got a little bit carried away there and had a bit of a trip, but he got back up pretty quickly and continued, so he did quite well with the event. The interesting thing was a lot of people tended to slow down with the sled just due to the lactic acid build-up in the legs. As you can see, Ryan's starting to slow down here. It's right at the end that it really kicks in. And this is my event, and I took off pretty quickly and nearly went face first into the ground. It actually landed on my foot halfway through, so I decided to, on the way back, slow it down, just take, really short, sharp, quick steps. With the sled drag, the weight wasn't an issue for me. It actually moved pretty fast. It was just, being the last event, it was just hang in there, just give it 100%, and finish in the shortest time that I possibly could. So that was the Iron Revolution Strength Challenge number 1. We all did really well on the day. All the training that we've been doing has really paid off big time, and it all came together quite nicely. So stay tuned for the next one. Our next comp is going to be coming up pretty soon, so we'll be documenting that. So until then, I'll see you next time.